everybody, and welcome to this special on the super new moon in the 12th degree of Taurus that happens on the 29th of May at 4:03 a.m. So now I'm going to talk about what the new moon represents in astrology and what the spiritual and psychological meanings are, and just the things we can do. So all in all, in astrology, the new moon is a catalyst, it's the pulse, it's the ground that can provide us with personal growth and transformation if we are willing to, take the new beginnings. This energy wants us to do. It wants us to take fresh starts. This could even mean restarting a project or relationship for some of you. And it is also a powerful tool for manifesting your goals and intentions. So it marks the perfect opportunity for self-reflection, intention setting, and as the moon disappears from the view, because we don't really see the moon at the time of the new moon, it invites us to turn inward, reflecting on our desires and whether they align with our goals, our life purpose and our true authentic self. And by actively engaging in the new moon energy, we can promote more clarity and focus within ourselves, and using tools such as journaling, meditation or creating vision boards, which I'll go a bit more in depth about later, can really help us focus. Now remember, tools like journaling, meditation and vision boards, they help us recognize our emotions, let go of our emotions, visually see what we want to manifest, but we have to take practical action, daily steps to bring desired reality into reality. So yeah, we can take this attentional approach, and this allows us to plant the seeds of our goals, nurturing them in the fertile ground of our subconscious mind. So it puts a spotlight on our thoughts. A lot of the time we have these thought patterns that we need to release, and the only way to release them is to take time to work through our psychological, emotional and spiritual traumas. The new moon also symbolises the cyclical nature of life. We have spring, then we have summer, then we have autumn, and then we have winter. So it reminds us that just as the moon phases transition, from new to waxing gibbous and full moon and crescent moon, so can our circumstances and mindset. So we can change. We feel that we can't change because we've been programmed to conform, and a lot of people say, oh, once you pass a certain age, or people like you don't do this or that, but it's up to you what you do with your life. So it encourages us to release our limiting beliefs and past disappointments, making way for personal transformation on all levels by reprogramming our subconscious mind, so we can seek out tools. Speakers like James Allen, Florence Scovel-Shinn, Marcia Rosenberg, Scott M. Peck, Neville Goddard, even Manly P. Hall, who else, Louise Hay, Tara Brach, Jiddu Krishnamurthy, Anthony DeMello have helped me reprogram my subconscious mind. So you search out the tools that help you, because that's part of it. You can listen to them while you're driving, while you're sleeping. You'd be amazed what the mind picks up, and how slowly do things to change the negative thoughts in your subconscious mind can help you to let go of what no longer serves you and create a space for new opportunities to enter your life if you take care of it on the mind, body and soul level. So taking care of your mind by working through your traumas, taking care of your body by eating right, sleeping right, eating the right foods for you, and taking care of your soul by engaging in some sort of spiritual practice. And if we're willing to do this, we can empower ourselves to take charge of our growth and align with the universe's natural rhythms. So spiritually, as I said, it wants us to confront innermost thoughts, feelings and goals without the distractions of the external world. So taking some time out, even if it's just 5 minutes to be alone in your car, in your room, in your home, if you live alone, if people are out. And by embracing the stillness and darkness of the new moon, we can dig into our subconscious, uncovering hidden truths and recognize desires. And through this self-reflection, we can also uncover ways to face our hidden truths, use our hidden talents, and to meet our unrecognized repressed desires. It serves as a pathway to understanding our soul's purpose and aligning our life with it. And as we increase our connection to our inner wisdom, practices such as lighting candles, intention setting ceremonies, and even guided visualizations or energy clearing rituals can help facilitate and support you gain a deeper sense of self-awareness on your spiritual journey. And as you honour this sacred time, you may find that the new moon not only illuminates your aspirations but also reveals the obstacles that get in the way of your growth. And a lot of the time we are the ones, our mindset, our unwillingness to let go, our need to stay in our comfort zones are often the big reasons we don't live the lives we want, or the toxic ways we relate to ourselves and others, or the toxic ways we allow other people to relate to us. And again, this is not about victim blaming or anything like that. A lot of the time we can get in these coercive relationships and situationships that we can find it hard to get out with, but by reaching out to maybe organisations that can help you, and I know they're limited, but by really making a plan, especially if you are in a coercive relationship, and make sure you put it in a safe space on how you can get out of the circumstances you are in that is stopping you from being empowered. So ultimately, the new moon is about, it's new, but it's also dark, and darkness is not something we normally, put together with, newness, but it wants us to embrace the duality and create a sense of balance within ourselves between our strengths and weaknesses, light and dark, and to try and build some more self-worth, confidence and clarity into our lives, or to continue to build it if you're already working on that. So ultimately it's a sacred time of renewal where we can develop, cultivate more self-awareness, love, forgiveness, acceptance, and create a profound connection to the universe and our spirit, our higher consciousness. Talking more about the esoteric, the mundane interpretations of the new moon, it wants us to, reflect on what we wish to cultivate in our life, write down specific goals and desires, and, create a tangible reminder of your intentions, reinforcing your commitment to pursuing them as the moon waxes through its stages, encourages us to release the past and let go of habits that no longer serve you. And this process of decluttering your emotional, spiritual and psychological baggage can create space for you to have more renewed passion about the life that you're living, or the life you want to create for yourself. So, choose a ritual that resonates with you and take some time out for quiet reflection, and create an environment that's right, productive for you to be able to bring more practicality and stability into your life. More about the esoteric meanings. Symbolically, it wants us to connect with our inner self and the universe, your higher power, whatever you call it, using visualization or intuitive readings from others or from yourself, and you're just sitting there with yourself and allowing yourself to access hidden knowledge and guidance that enriches your spiritual journey. And as the new moon represents on the esoteric level the darkness of the womb You know, a lot of us were born in a womb. It invites us to explore the depths of our psyche, creating self-discovery and inner wisdom. You can use tools such as tarot cards, crystals or astrology to enhance your understanding of this phase, and you may consider selecting a specific tarot card or any other card that resonates with your intentions, or use crystals that align with new beginnings like clear quartz, which I can recommend, or moonstone. And it just wants us to take these moments of quiet reflection to listen to our intuition and uncover insights that may have previously eluded you. You know, you may have ignored or you may have not been able to grasp before. So by deepening your spiritual practice in this way, you can align yourself with the natural rhythms of the cosmos, and ultimately it wants you to engage in things that can help you and connect with yourself. So any form of meditation such as mindfulness, breath work, mantra can help you, center your thoughts and emotions. Also, lighting a candle or using incense to purify your area, allowing the ambience to support your focus. You can write your intentions on paper and express them clearly and positively, and this act not only nullifies your desires but also reinforces your commitment to manifest them in coming weeks. So by visualizing the energy of the new moon and see it enveloping you, surrounding you, protecting you, comforting you, and allowing you to have more motivation. And some of you may choose to repeat affirmations that align with your intentions, but remember, you need to also put practical actions into any tool that you are using. It's not just about visualizing or affirming, it's about creating a life, changing your life habits so you can provide the right ground for these things to manifest. And by engaging in mindful rituals, you can transform your life as you start not only this new journey but a new phase of your life, if you wish. So yeah, that's the end of looking at what the new moon means from all angles. So yeah, when the sun and the moon are both in the 12th degrees of Taurus, and this has the Sabian symbology of a young couple walk down Main Street, windows shopping. The energetic frequency of this super new moon is grounding manifestation energy. So the super new moon in Taurus carries a beautifully grounded yet aspirational energy, and that Taurus is an earthy, sensual, material sign, and the symbology of the bull represents all of Taurus. So yeah, and so the symbolism of a young couple, window shopping, represents the space between desire and manifestation, that magical moment where you can see what you want but you haven't yet committed to it. It's about browsing life's possibilities together with curiosity and shared dreams. So positively, the super new moon is all about how we can manifest beauty into our life, and a young couple walk down Main Street, that symbology, window shopping, perfectly captures the essence of the super new moon. At the time of the super new moon, it just means that the moon's closer to the earth. So yeah, a super new moon is a time to really set your intention, because it's like we have an amplified creative force, like shopping with an unlimited cosmic credit card. The super moon energy strengthens Taurus's already powerful manifestation abilities, making it a prime time to plant seeds for material abundance. Just as the couple in the Sabian symbol walks together, this moon breathes fresh life into partnerships. There's a sweet, innocent quality here, like rediscovering what attracted you to someone in the first place. For singles, it opens hearts to new possibilities without pressure to commit immediately. The window shopping imagery points to a healthy reassessment of values and resources. This new moon supports creating new budgets, saving plans or investment strategies with a balanced approach, appreciating beautiful things while making practical choices about what truly deserves your resources. Taurus rules the physical senses, and this moon invites you to rediscover life's simple pleasures, like window shoppers admiring beautiful displays. You're encouraged to appreciate beauty without immediately processing it, finding joy in experiences rather than acquisitions. But negatively, this new moon, the sadder side of Taurus energy, can trigger unhealthy attachments to possessions or status symbols, like window shoppers who become envious or dejected about what they can't afford. You might find yourself comparing your material situation to others, feeding insecurity and scarcity mindsets. The young couple imagery can highlight immature approaches to relationships where you're window shopping through potential partners without real commitment or depth. There's a risk of treating relationships as acquisitions, just as something to buy, something to own, or staying in surface level connections when deeper intimacy is needed, because sometimes after heartbreak and stuff like that, we can just fear intimacy and can be hard to trust again and stuff. But if we learn to trust ourselves, building a lifelong relationship with ourselves where we understand our psychological, emotional and spiritual needs, we can trust ourselves, and then trusting ourselves, we can easily decipher whether we can trust others or not. This is what I found as I've built myself trust, so I can recommend that. Negatively also, this moon can trigger spending urges based on emotional needs rather than practical considerations. The window shopping energy might not stay at just looking. This can lead to impulsive purchases or financial decisions based on keeping up with appearances, rather than authentic needs, just to be like, I've got this too, or I've got money, look at me, and we should never do that, because ultimately, it just leads us further and further away from our true needs. Yeah, you may want certain things, but envying others and deceiving ourselves ain't a way to get it. Also, Taurus energy at its worst is notoriously inflexible and stubborn. We can become so fixed on one particular window of opportunity that we miss seeing doors opening elsewhere, refusing to adapt when circumstances suggest a need for a change of direction. So the best use of this super new moon in the 12th degree of Taurus is to create tangible vision boards. Unlike ordinary visualization, physically create something representing your desires. The tactile Taurus energy responds powerfully to sensory representations of goals. Touch, arrange and craft something that embodies your intention. Take time to list what genuinely brings you pleasure, separating authentic joy from status-seeking behaviour. Like mindful window shoppers appreciate beauty without needing to possess everything that catches your eye. Value-based financial planning. Use this moon to align your resources with your genuine values. Review where your money goes and adjust, make changes to ensure it supports what truly matters to you. Like the discerning shopper who knows exactly what they're saving for. Practice being fully present with each sense. Truly taste your food, feel the textures, listen deeply to music. Anything that allows you to have sensory meditations. This grounds the ethereal moon energy into your physical experience, creating a bridge between intention and manifestation. Money cleanse your space. Clear out old receipts, organise your wallet and literally clean your coins. This signals to the universe that you're ready to receive abundance in fresh ways. Plant something real. Taurus is earth energy, whether it's a seed in the soil or financial seed like opening a savings account with even just £5, 5 cents, 5 pence. The act of planting something with growth intention really hits differently under this moon and can really do well for your overall well-being and mindset, you know. So now I'm going to talk about the Sabian symbol, the 12th degree. In a summary version, I'm going to go a bit more in depth in about, 20 minutes or so. But yeah, in summary, the Sabian symbol, a young couple walk down Main Street shopping, shows, partnership, shared vision, and the dance between dreaming and practical reality. The couple represents unity and balance, particularly relevant in Taurus, the sign of Venus, that also rules Libra, and the scales balance. So Main Street symbolises conventional values and community standards, while window shopping embodies desire, aspiration, and the contemplation phase before manifestation. The symbol speaks to the joy and happiness found in simple pleasures and shared experiences. There's a powerful message about patience, enjoying the bracing phase before commitment. It reminds us that relationships thrive when built on shared values and dreams. The Sabian degree asks you to find beauty in the everyday and to balance pragmatism with aspiration, hallmarks of evolved Taurus energy. So now I'm just going to talk a bit more about the financial meaning of this super new moon in the 12th degree of Taurus. It wants us to level up our financial game, but make it look authentic as we reassess our relationship with material things. The universe is asking, does your spending match your actual values, or are you just collecting things to look good on, the gram and social media and stuff? Investment opportunities show up now, but they may require patience, like window shopping before buying. Look for long-term growth rather than quick gains. Taurus energy is all about slow and steady progress, right? And any blocks that you have with money may come up for healing, especially those around worthiness. If you think I don't deserve nice things, this moon is highlighting this for release. Budget glow-ups can become easier now. We can find it simpler to create financial boundaries that don't feel restrictive but rather supported to your long-term vision and life goals. In terms of the personal individual meanings, it allows us to connect with how we value ourselves, but this specific degree asks if you're window shopping through life rather than claiming what's meant for you. Maybe you have been looking at other people's lives thinking that could be nice without believing you deserve your own, without trying. You have to try, you have to be in the race, to be able to win it, right? We can find our identity right now through our desires. What catches our eye when we're metaphorically window shopping through life reveals our authentic self. What are the things you naturally gravitate towards when no one's watching? That's your soul speaking facts. This moon asks us about how comfortable we are with simply enjoying things. Can we appreciate beauty without immediately needing to possess it? The window shopping couple is enjoying the experience together, not just acquiring stuff. Just like a leisurely scroll down Main Street, this moon reminds us that not everything needs to happen at breakneck speed. Your natural rhythm may be more measured and deliberate right now, and that's your superpower, not a weakness. The core personal message is about recognizing what genuinely attracts you versus what you think should attract you based on others' expectations. It's giving know thyself through what you desire energy, instead of what people tell you should desire. So on the psychological level, it wants us to, as I said, connect deeply with our relationship to desire itself. Psychologically, the window shopping couple represents the interplay between longing and fulfillment, that space where you can see what you want but you haven't obtained it yet. And this creates a fascinating state of anticipation that reveals much about your psyche. We can notice what we're drawn to during this lunar phase, and it's important because these desire patterns can reveal ourselves to ourselves. As Carl Jung would say, our projections, what attracts or repels us, are actually parts of yourself seeking recognition. Inner tensions between what you think you should want and what you actually want become clearer. These conflicts often stem from childhood conditioning about what's worthy of desire. If you feel uncomfortable simply enjoying life's pleasures without earning them first, this moon highlights that pattern for healing, We have to sometimes just enjoy things, I've struggled with this one myself. It can be hard, Yes, we must temper our desires and stuff, but sometimes we can just simply just enjoy ourselves and our lives just for being human beings, just for trying to do better, rather than, saying, oh, I only give myself praise when I reach the goal, So what are your pleasure guilt? What makes you feel guilty about having pleasure, about giving yourself love and gratitude and honouring your inner values, Also reveals how our physical possessions, our emotional safety nets, and the window shopping image suggests learning to feel secure through appreciation rather than ownership is the way to go. So in terms of the spiritual and esoteric significance, the 12th degree of Taurus connects to the Buddhist concept of non-attachment while staying still fully engaged with the material world, a spiritual paradox that leads to freedom, sort of like experiencing love while not being attached to the outcome, recognizing that, as the verbs sing, all the love we have is in our mind, in our soul, and we often project it onto others. And when we learn to love ourselves first, then we can see that, and that doesn't mean we don't love others, still, but we put that love in the right place. We don't let that love transcend our need for inner balance and love for self-love and respect. Our higher self can use this moon to communicate what truly matters on your soul journey to you through dreams or visions or stuff like that. Also, unusual attractions or sudden desires can come to the surface from nowhere, but sometimes these are your higher self trying to get your attention to what you truly need and desire to move forward. It also brings a lesson between manifestation and materialism. It teaches the esoteric difference between healthy creation, manifesting, and attachment to things, materialism, and window shopping represents enjoying without grasping, a key spiritual concept. And another theme of sacred partnership, the couple in the symbol reflects your inner masculine and feminine energies working together to create reality. Are they in harmony or in conflict within you? Because sometimes we don't recognize that we have, our logic and intuition, our head versus our heart. We say that it's our inner masculine and feminine energies, and sometimes they're working against each other. So we can ask ourselves how we can allow them to work together, so we can build on that self-love, understanding, forgiveness and awareness, and acceptance, and also, Taurus is an earth element, and this teaches us that spirituality doesn't mean rejecting the physical world. It means seeing the sacred within it. This moon helps us recognize the divine in everyday objects and experiences, and this super new moon in Taurus is essentially a spiritual masterclass in being in the world but not of it. You're learning to enjoy the physical realm without becoming trapped by it, finding the balance between appreciation and non-attachment. It's giving spiritual baddie who can manifest while staying zen energy, absolute life goals, So this super new moon basically wants us to window shop through life's possibilities before committing to them. It's giving take your time, enjoy the process and choose what truly resonates energy. Your practical moves now set the foundation for material security that actually feels good to your soul. What's going to feel good? No cap. Ask yourself, what is it you truly want? What's stopping you? And how can you work through your psychological, emotional and spiritual wounds to help you come more into alignment? So now I'm just going to talk about the karmic meanings and lessons of this super new moon in the 12th degree of Taurus. So as I said, it highlights the theme of materialism versus true fulfillment, happiness. It's a nudge, a push to reflect on whether you're chasing possessions or status out of fear or insecurity rather than genuine desire. The lesson here is to distinguish between what you want and what you need. The image of the young couple suggests past life or collective karma around relationships, particularly dynamics of codependency, possessiveness or imbalance. This is a time to heal old wounds and release patterns of giving up your power in relationships. It wants us to let go of attachment. The act of window shopping symbolises attachment to desires without true fulfillment. This moon is a call to release attachment to outcomes and instead focus on the present moment. Taurus energy is all about abundance, but it's not just about having more, it's about appreciating what you already have. This moon reminds you to cultivate, develop, create gratitude and recognise the riches in your life, no matter how small, In terms of past life memories or dreams that may surface, we can recall past life relationships where materialism or possessiveness cause an imbalance. These memories could surface as dreams or feelings of unease, pushing you to release old patterns. Dreams or visions of losing something or someone valuable may come up, symbolising past life experiences of attachment and separation. This is an opportunity to heal and understand that true fulfillment comes from within. You may see glimpses of past lives where you experience either great abundance or extreme scarcity. These memories are surfacing to help you find a healthy relationship with resources and abundance, so finding the balance between visions of excess and lack and finding that balance of having enough. In terms of the collective karma that may come up, this moon could increase collective guilt or awareness around social consumerism and the exploitation of resources. It's a call for humanity to shift toward more sustainable and mindful consumption. The energy may highlight collective karma around economic inequality, urging us to address distribution imbalances in resources. On a collective level, this moon can bring up patterns of codependency or unhealthy dynamics in relationships, encouraging us to embrace healthier, more balanced partnerships. So now I'm just going to talk about the aspects that the Sun and Moon are making at the time of this super new moon in the 12th degree of Taurus. So the Sun and the Moon conjunct Mercury, so this allows us to be more clear in our thoughts and communication. It allows us to express our needs and desires clearly and listen to others with an open mind, but negatively we can get caught up in overthinking and in nervous chatter and gossip and stuff, and this can increase anxiety or restlessness, especially if we don't ground ourselves. So we should use this energy to have important conversations or write down our intentions. Just remember to take deep breaths and stay present. The Sun and the Moon makes a sextile square to Venus, so this allows us to be creative and passionate in our relationships and connect with our desires and with others and do the things that truly bring us happiness. But negatively it can add to the feelings of dissatisfaction and restlessness, especially if the current situation don't match our ideas. So we have to avoid comparing ourselves to others or focusing on what's lacking. Practically, it's best to channel this energy into creative expression or self-care, treating ourselves to something that feels indulgent but in a healthy way. The Sun and the Moon make a quintile to Mars, so it ignites our inner fire, encouraging us to take action towards our goals. It's time to build trust and be courageous, but negatively, again, it can add to us being impulsive in decisions. So it's important to balance action with reflection and to use this energy to kickstart a new project or routine. Just make sure that you make a plan before you leap. The Sun and the Moon make a trine to Pluto, and this amplifies our intuition and inner strength, and it allows us to dig deep into our psyche and uncover hidden truths or desires. But negatively, it can add to us being overly intense or obsessive. This can sometimes bring up feelings of control or power struggles, but practically we can use this energy to help us with our shadow work, and journal about what's beneath the surface processing our emotions and how we can integrate our unresolved psychological and emotional and spiritual trauma into our conscious awareness and work through them in a gentle and loving way, The sun and the moon also makes a quintile to the moon's north node, so this is nice sort of energy, and it allows us to trust that we're on the right path and allow us to believe and have faith that the universe, our higher selves, are guiding us, Practically, we can use this energy to reflect on our current actions and if they're aligned with our long-term goals, and how we can change our day-to-day thought habits and relationship habits and all of that to guide them towards our highest good. The moon makes a sestive square to the midheaven, and this allows us to take charge of our life and career and encourages us to step into a more leadership orientated role in our careers or life, but again, it can add to the tension between our personal and professional life, so we just need to avoid overworking or neglecting our emotional needs, and we can find a healthy balance between our personal and professional goals and set clear boundaries, with yourself and others to protect your energy, So now I'm going to talk about the transiting aspect patterns that are active at the time of the super new moon. So there's a T-square between Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter in Gemini, and the South Node in Leo. So it allows us to reflect on how our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality, and allows us to release any ego-driven tendencies that no longer serve us, as we find a balance between our spiritual responsibility, shown by Saturn in Pisces, our mental expansion growth, which is represented by Jupiter in Gemini, and the need to let go of our past patterns, which is represented by the South Node in Leo. But negatively, it can add to the tension and frustration and anxiety as we hold on to our old habits and beliefs, and it can also add to our tendency to overthink or feel stuck between our spiritual needs and ideals and practical reality. So we can use this energy to reflect on your beliefs and how they align with your spiritual growth. Journal about what's holding you back and how you can release it. There's a 3-point stellium between the moon, sun and Mercury in Taurus, and this allows us to tap into our creativity, be more practical with our communication skills. It's a time to focus on what truly matters to us and how we can build more stability in our life. The combination of the sun, moon and Mercury in Taurus also increases our ability to express our desires clearly and intuitively, but again, we can become too attached to material comforts and stubborn in our ways, and this energy can also increase emotional resistance to change. So the best use of this energy is to practice gratitude for what you already have, stay open to new opportunities and focus on your goals and how you can create lasting value in your life. It allows you to focus on what truly matters and how you can create stability and value in your life, and the karmic level of these transit aspect patterns. It allows us to explore what we want from our partnerships and life, and it can create a sense of togetherness in our partnerships and togetherness within ourselves. So as we reflect on the beliefs and how they shape our reality, leaning into releasing our patterns and habits that no longer serve us, as we focus on creating stability and value in our life, and allow to communicate our desires more clearly and intuitively with ourselves and others. So now I'm just going to talk about the Sabian symbols in more depth. So as I said, the sun and the moon are in the 12th degree of Taurus, and the Sabian symbology is a young couple walk down Main Street window shopping, and this rules the cervical and branchially plexi in the human body. Mars is in Cancer, and this Sabian symbol is a leader of men wrapped in an invisible mantle of power, and this rules the blood vessels of the digestive organs. Mercury is in the 9th degree of Taurus, and this Sabian symbology is a Christmas tree decorated, and this rules the jugular veins. And Uranus is in the 4th degree of Taurus, which is the rainbow's pot of gold symbology, and this rules the vulva. So in terms of their combined astrological meanings, the the sun and the moon in the 12th degrees of Taurus wants us to, create a sense of togetherness, as I said, and focus on partnerships, especially the partnership between our different personality traits, our strengths and our weaknesses, our psychological, spiritual, emotional, financial and physical needs. Yeah. Mars in Cancer wants us to focus on our inner strength, intuition and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your worth. It's a reminder to trust your instincts and embrace your leadership qualities. Mercury in the 9th degree of Taurus is a call to appreciate the little things and find joy in the present moment, and to celebrate abundance and the beauty of life. And Uranus in the 4th degree of Taurus, the rainbow as part of gold, symbolises hope, inspiration and the promise of rewards after challenges. It's a reminder to stay optimistic and trust your efforts will pay off. So collectively they encourage us to embrace relationships, trust our inner power, celebrate life's beauty and to stay hopeful. They remind us to focus on what we truly desire, but negatively we can have an over-reliance on others for validation, a fear of taking leadership for our life or getting stuck in materialistic thinking. It can also give us a tendency to overindulge or lose sight of what truly matters as well. On a deeper esoteric level, these symbols speak to the interplay between relationships, power and spiritual abundance. The sun and the moon in Taurus is a metaphor for the union of the masculine and feminine energies, reminding us to balance our inner duality. The leader wrapped in power, represented by Mars in Cancer, represents the divine feminine's quiet strength and intuition's power. The Christmas tree is a symbol of celebration and the abundance of the universe, urging us to trust in divine provision. Uranus in Taurus is a reminder of the spiritual rewards that come from staying true to your path and your own feelings, and combined these symbols point to a spiritual call to embrace relationships as a mirror of our inner self, trusting in our intuitive power as we celebrate life's abundance. They remind us to stay hopeful and trust in the universe plan, in terms of their influence on our emotional, spiritual and physical and psychological health. It wants us to find joy and trust in our relationships, but also, not to get stuck in materialistic desires or over-reliance on others and things for validation. It wants us to trust in the divine abundance and the universe's plan, and reminds us to embrace our inner power and stay hopeful. On the spiritual level, physically, the cervical and bronchial plexi that are ruled by the sun and moon are linked to the nerve function and physical vitality. So it wants us to look after any feelings of fatigue or numbness we have, as imbalances here can be a result of that. So taking magnesium and other vitamins like vitamin D, getting enough sun, drinking enough water and all the other things you need to take to keep yourself in balance. The blood vessels of the digestive organs are ruled by Mars in Cancer, so they want us to look at improving our diet and managing our stress. The jugular veins, as ruled by Mercury in Taurus, reminds us of the importance of circulation and energy flow, reminding us it's important to stay active and avoid stagnation. The vulva, Uranus in Taurus, is linked to thought health and communication. It signals a need to express ourselves authentically. In terms of our psychological health, these symbols suggest by balancing our inner masculine and feminine energies and trusting our intuition, and by embracing abundance, psychological challenges that come up, we can handle them if we're willing to work with them and without resisting change or losing sight of what truly matters to us. So practically we can take time to reflect on our relationships and how we can create a sense of togetherness by communicating openly and trusting in the power of teamwork, trusting our instincts and embracing our leadership qualities, remembering to stay true to ourselves and remembering that true power comes from within. It doesn't come from controlling others or external circumstances. It reminds us to celebrate the little things in life, and this can help us stay positive and hopeful, and to have spiritual trusting and staying optimistic and keeping our eyes on the horizon, on the newness, and having faith that our hard work will pay off in time. So So now I'm going to talk about how we can care for the parts of the body that these Sabian symbols, rule. So to look after the cervical and bronchial plexus, stretch regularly, practice good posture, and ensure you're getting enough rest and support to manage stress and nerve health. In terms of looking after the blood vessels of our digestive organs, focus on a balanced diet rich in whole foods, stay hydrated, and again, manage stress through relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation. To look after our jugular veins, avoid sitting for long periods and practice yoga or exercises that promote healthy circulation. To look after our vulva, practice throat exercises, stay hydrated, and avoid overstraining your voice. So now I'm just going to give advice for all of the different modalities. So fire signs, Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. This is a chance to ground fiery energy into creative projects that you can touch, so working towards results that you can see. Learn the power of patience and sustained effort, finding sensual pleasure in the present moment. But you can find this super new moon challenging because you can have frustration with the slow pace of manifestation. You can have a tendency to rush through enjoyable experiences, and this can lead to boredom with routine and stability. The best use of this energy is to channel it into something that is beautiful and practical that will last. Use this to add sensual pleasure to your creative processes rather than rushing the completion of them, and practice mindful presence with physical sensations. Create a sustainable pace for your projects, allowing excitement and endurance. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. This is an opportunity for deep alignment with your core values and priorities. Powerful manifestation abilities, especially for material goals, and increase appreciation for life's simple pleasures. We can have a potential stubbornness about how things should be, a risk of materialism or over attachment to possessions. There can be a tendency towards comfort over growth. The best use of this energy is to lean into your natural connection with physical reality while remaining flexible about methods. Your practical magic is at its peak. Use it wisely for long-term security and comfort. Practice being generous to yourself and others to counteract possessiveness. Explore new sensory experiences that push slightly beyond your comfort zone while maintaining stability. Air signs, Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. It's an opportunity to ground mental concepts, beliefs into practical application, finding tangible expression for innovative ideas, balancing intellectual plans with physical pleasure. But negatively, impatience with practical details and implementing them can get in your way. You can have a difficulty with staying present in physical reality. You can overthink desires rather than feel them. The best use of this energy is to allow your brilliant ideas to take physical form, even if imperfect. Connect your mental frameworks, ideas to real-world practical applications that provide genuine value and pleasure. Practice the embodiment exercises to bring awareness into your physical form. Create tangible representations of ideas and concepts through art, writing or meaningful conversations. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. It's an opportunity to stabilize emotional currents through practical routines, finding tangible expressions for intuitive insights, creating security that supports emotional well-being. But in terms of the challenges, you can feel restricted by material limitations. You can find a struggle between balancing your emotional needs and practical concerns like paying the bills, going to work and commitment right now. And there can be a tendency to seek an emotional comfort through possessions. So the best use of this energy is to channel your emotional intelligence into creating spaces, relationships and experiences that provide both security and pleasure. Trust your intuition about what truly matters. create physical anchors for emotional processing. Journals, comfort objects or meaningful spaces can be good. Practice expressing feelings through tangible creative projects. And yeah, so that's the end. So all in all, the super new moon in Taurus is a perfect cosmic moment to window shop through life's possibilities, appreciating beauty, considering options and ultimately choosing what truly resonates with your authentic self. From a karmic perspective, the super new moon in Taurus is teaching us profound lessons about value systems, true self-worth, and how we relate to material desires. The imagery of the window shopping carries karmic significance about desire without attachment, seeing, appreciating but not necessarily possessing. This reflects ancient teachings about the middle path between desire and renunciation. You're being asked to examine what you truly value versus what you have been conditioned to want. There's a karmic lesson about partnership, how said values create lasting bonds. This degree tests whether you can enjoy life's pleasures without becoming enslaved to them. The placement in the 12th degree amplifies these degrees as numerologically. The number 12 represents the completion of cycles and cosmic order. We can find ourselves closing karmic loops related to material attachments and relationship patterns. Psychologically, the super new moon illuminates our relationship with desire, satisfaction, and sometimes, the complicated dynamics between wanting and having. The window shopping imagery perfectly captures that in-between psychological state where we project our desires outwards, seeing them reflecting back to us through material objects or experiences we don't yet possess. And this projection process reveals much about our inner values. So ultimately, this moon highlights the gap between fantasy and reality in both our relationship and material desires. We can notice patterns around delayed gratification or impulsive purchasing behaviours. There's an invitation to examine how we use material objects as emotional substitutes and consider how window shopping creates both pleasure and frustration. And this duality mirrors our broader relationship with the Taurian themes of possession, comfort and security. So our cosmic mantra right now can be, I mindfully explore possibilities with joy, knowing that true value comes from alignment with my authentic self. So yeah, that's the end of this super new moon in the 12th degree of Taurus on the 27th of May 2025. I'm Amani, your karmic astrological life coach. Take care and see you next time.